Really great to see you here. I'm Gerli Kehman from Estonian Design Center. I'm really happy to welcome you at today's webinar. This is the Circular Design How webinar series. Today, with an exception, we are holding it in English because we have an exciting guest from Finland joining us. And today's topic is the possibility of a circular textile industry in Estonia. And we have 4 exciting guests today sharing their knowledge and experience. So I'm really happy to welcome you here, and I will give the word now to Reet Aus, who is moderating today's session. And just to let you know that we are recording this event, and everybody who has registered will get the recording link afterwards. So enjoy, and Reet, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hello to all of you. My name is Reet Aus, and I'm senior researcher from Estonian Academy of Arts, and also a designer who is using circular design in my work. So yes, I will be helping a little bit today, just to moderate and give a little introduction to our lecturers. And yeah, already Gerli said that the event will be recorded, that you all know that, and it will be sent later on to all of you. And this event is organized by Estonian Design Center with cooperation with the Estonian Association for Environmental Management. If you have any questions during the lectures, then please be so nice and leave your questions and comments to the Zoom chat box. So if you don't want to ask it in English, you can ask in Estonian. I will translate, and we will get the answers. We do it that way that each speaker will take time, answer the questions after shortly after the presentation, but we will have a longer session for the Q&A later on, where we can actually then have a little bit longer conversation. And if you don't have time to ask directly after the lecture, you can do that later on. So our first speaker is Pirjo Heikkilä. Pirjo is a senior scientist and project manager at VTT. She owns a master's degree in textile and clothing technologies and a doctoral degree in material science. She has over 22 years of experience in textile research, first half of that at Tampere University of Technology, and other half at VTT Technical Research Center of Finland. The last 7 years, her research efforts have been mainly focusing on circular economy and textile recycling topics. Pirjo will give an overview of the Telaketju network and research activities carried out in Finland. Telaketju is both an active network of actors within textile circular value chains and continuum of research projects aiming for a common goal. So, floor is yours, Pirjo.
Thank you for the kind introduction. Can you see my slides now?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. So, yes, my name is Pirjo Heikkilä, and I come from VTT, and I have been involved in these activities quite far, and it's my pleasure to tell you about the Telaketju. Many people ask me, can you tell me about the Telaketju project? But it's not only one project, and it's not only research project, it's also an active network. So it's very exciting to tell you about that. So like mentioned, yeah, it's we have had so many research projects and collaboration also before that. So we have been able to build this kind of active network of different kind of collaborators and actors on different parts of textile value chains who do together things with towards common goal, aiming for more sustainable production, use, and cycling of textiles. But it also is a research project. So we are collecting this kind of knowledge needed for companies to actually go forward with the circularity in their activities. And this is a kind of show you that it's not only one project and it's not only Telaketju what has been happening in Finland. So actually I started, I don't know, can you see my cursor if I show you something on the screen, maybe with the pointer, I don't know.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Okay, good. So we had a project in 2015 or 16 about relooping fashion. PTT was coordinating that project where we took cotton recycling process in the lab scale to pilot scale. After that, we, for example, obtained Infinity Fiber Company who has now using that technology. And also in Turku area, there was another activity, Textile 2.0, where they focused on collecting textiles and how to use that. And together with those projects and with the kind of nice suggestion from our national funding agency, Tekes at the time, currently Business Finland. So they suggested that we should try to combine our forces and do larger research programs and projects in Finland. And that was starting point of Telaketju. And Telaketju has been multiple projects, one after another, and also parallel. So we have had altogether 4 projects going on at the same time. But it's not only Telaketju shown here as a kind of turquoise color. So we have had also other activities. For example, Nordic Bio project, which was bilateral Finnish-Swedish activity. A circular design network is a kind of networking activity with multiple research organizations in Finland, Aalto University, VTT, and also others. I noticed we have also participants from Phoenix project, which is funded by Strategic Council of Academy of Finland, and also Expand Fiber, this kind of large and network ecosystem project, which is led by industrial partners. So there are a lot of activities going on. We are now here just starting TelaValue project, which is kind of 3rd phase of Telaketju, when we consider here was 1st, 2nd, and now 3rd phase of Telaketju. And here you can see that we have really kind of involved quite many different type of actors within our this kind of larger research projects. So a little kind of showing what was been happening in different stages. So in the 1st phase in 2017 to 19, we started to build this thing around this, mainly about how to collect and sort and utilize. So recycling part of circular economy is not only recycling, but our first Telaketju activities was focused on that. But since there are so many different types of actors, we have companies who can have, for example, do the refining or make the final products. But since we collect and sort mainly for reusables, there were so many actors who are not companies, reuse centers and charities who do the collecting and sorting of textiles. So it was very nice to have different kind of activities going on, because our funding agency for businesses is not suitable. It doesn't give funding for charities, for example. But at the same time, we had the call for Ministry of Environment, who were funding for many types of projects and actors and business events. So we were able to kind of include also municipalities and this kind of recycling organizations, public participants and charities under the funding from Ministry of Environment. And then we had companies and research institutes with the Business Finland funding. So we started Telaketju with these forces. But there were also additional funding from Ministry of Economic Affairs and Employment in Finland, as well as the Regional Council of Southwestern Finland for the refining plant for the materials. And in the first stage, we had already kind of full collaboration between the 2 projects, and partly also partners were the same, but we kind of collaborated and built this starting point of this network and value chain in Finland during that. So also the companies find possibilities to collaborate within these activities. And so building of ecosystem value chains for recycling was kind of main point. We have all our results summarized in our report, so you can find them in English, and also about the projects you can find English language pages there. But that was the starting point. And when things started to happen in the ecosystem, and we know that circular economy, not just recycling, it's much more. We take a kind of little bit wider scope when we went to second phase. There was a continuation of some of the research activities, but this Business Finland side, when we started Telaketju 2 Business Finland project for the second phase. We had more companies, and we also included companies who are interested in these new kind of business models, like Vaatepool, which is this kind of clothing library, new type of business models. Also Reima, manufacturer of children's outdoor clothing, they have business with a monthly fee for obtaining this kind of clothing for children. So new business models. So we have this kind of wider scope up around circular economy in our second phase. We looked business models, how to extend product lifetime in circular economy. We looked how we should design products to be more circular. There are different strategies to achieve this kind of long living products. Also, what kind of sustainable materials are available. We of course continue supporting the work around recycling, but we also take a look on the sustainability, how impactive can be calculated. For example, different tools for evaluating environmental impacts and social impacts, and we studied costs of recycling and so on. So different kind of aspects of sustainability. We did trials and demonstrations, of course, but also studied consumer attitudes towards different kind of models and recycling and new type of products and models. So it was kind of wider focus in that sense. We have, again, reports are available online, but we also very much kind of focused on communication and collaboration. We hosted webinar series and blog series, and we also had international webinar series in order to enable exchange of knowledge and ideas, and in circular economy, this kind of collaboration and knowledge exchange is very important, because those value chains are not necessarily only happening locally, but we need to be able to collaborate also across the border of countries. We have had newsletters and also social media channels used. So communication and active collaboration has been very important. We are now starting in our third phase of Telaketju activities. And the focus has been, again, slightly shifted and widened. We have this kind of smaller trial project, products as a service, pilot funded by Sitra and coordinated by Turku University of Applied Sciences going on. This is something which is not so close to market, so we were not able to obtain Business Finland project around that. But then we also have this kind of larger Business Finland co-innovation project, where we have company projects. They are developing their own processes or products, and then we have this public research to support that. And also Lounais-Suomen jätehuolto in Turku municipal waste management organization is also having projects for refinement and sorting plan going on at the same time within our network. But Tela Value project we just started last month, but you can see our scope here that now we are not only looking recycled fibers, but we are looking for production value chains and how we can build that. And in Finland, we also have very active research around bio-based raw materials. So there are this Infinity Fiber company who is making chemically recycled cotton. They're using that as a raw material for new man-made cellulosic fibers. But we also have Metsä Spring in Äänekoski starting to do new cellulose-based fibers, Pinnova from Jyväskylä. So there are different activities, and together, this kind of bio-based and recycled raw materials, we might be able to build some of the missing parts of the textile production value chain. We have had that earlier in Finland, but currently there we are missing, for example, spinning mills for cotton type fibers, and then also weaving is very limited at the moment in Finland, but knitting and those are available. We try to kind of support returning of textile industry to Finland. We are looking for different kind of textile products and sustainable use models for different type of materials or textile products, clothing and fashion, of course, but also workwear, home textile and technical textile. We are supporting the recovery value chain, studying how we can help that, also building new knowledge based on that, especially for the pre-processing and fiber opening, how we can get high quality raw materials out of recycling. And we are looking, of course, recycling materials back to textile applications, but we also are now focused on other applications. So composites here highlighted as well, because there are a lot of production of technical textiles in Finland, and raw materials, these polymers, for example, are very good quality, but not necessarily easily recycled back to textiles, but we can make very good quality composite and plastic products out of those kind of side streams of technical textile industry or also use technical textiles. So that is another kind of new focal point of our new project, also illustrated in work packages here. So we take a look of the whole value chain and trying to analyze and build new options for Finnish industry in collaboration within European level, of course. And we have here textile manufacturing, so the spinning activities, for example, and also this still with the new products, how to use them sustainably, what are the new business models enabling this kind of extended textile use. But then we can take a look on textile recovery and using them back to fiber recycling or recycling to other products. Interaction here also important, so we will have also this kind of webinar series and something coming up soon as we get ourselves organized. It's only our second month now, so we have not yet get everything started. But this Tela Value is now started last month. It will continue until January 2005. So there is a lot of also collaboration options between Estonia and Finland. We have now again VTT and Lab University of Applied Sciences and Turku University of Applied Sciences as the project partners, and 17 companies, 6 of them has their own company project. So that is our Tela Value. More information coming soon. But still a couple of kind of mention. I was talking a lot about what happened in the research because I'm coordinator of these Techs and Business Finland research activities. But just to know that there's so many things happening also within our network. And we, for example, have this concept done, how this separate collection textile waste can be carried out in Finland, implemented here. So that that kind of plans has been made, and that is mandatory in European level in 2025. In Finland, we will start next year, but actually this kind of separate collection pilots are already going on in quite many municipalities, the areas where we have these regional municipal waste management companies going on, covering, I think, those areas more than half of Finnish population already. There have been new product lines launched by companies involved within our network. Also, those kind of materials containing post-consumer waste. Mechanical processing plant has been built by me. There is collaboration between municipal waste management organization, and commercial actor, Rester. So because of the legislation, we have to have commercial operator for commercial textile waste and municipal for household waste. And also we are having this kind of knowledge sharing webinar series going on in our network. But maybe kind of last words, what has been key success factors in Finland, how this everything has been, have we been able to do that? Is that we have been having a lot of people and also companies and other organizations who have shared this kind of common vision, have been very active, personally kind of put themselves to work. And it has been a formation of our network. But of course, we have also have this public support from multiple different funding agencies, ministries, and different kind of public actors, so that we have been able to carry out Telaketju project and also these other projects going parallel to us. For example, this Phoenix, where we have also participants in this. So thank you for your attention. I think the questions will become after all the presentations. Thank you.
Thank you, Pirjo. But actually, we have a little time. If somebody would like to ask, you are free to ask any questions, just a few minutes. Does anyone has? If not, then we can continue. Thank you, Pirjo, one more time. And our next speaker is Tiia Plamus. A lot of us, of course, know her really well. Tiia is a senior lecturer at Tallinn University of Technology, and in this webinar, she will touch upon the challenges and opportunities of circularity in Estonian textile and clothing sector, and the current situation and proposal for moving towards the circular economy model. We will hear about the study and research activities in TalTech in the field of circularity, reuse and recycling of textiles, the possible solutions for creating new materials from mechanically recycled textile waste. So Tiia, floor is yours. You're welcome.
Thank you. I hope you can see my screen and hear me.
Yeah, we can.
So my name is Tiia Plamus, and I'm a senior lecturer in Tallinn University of Technology. And also I am a program director of Bachelor Study Program Materials Technology. And today I will firstly talk a little bit about our laboratory, about activities that we are involved in, then a little bit about study work in Tallinn University of Technology, and then at last I will a little bit touch the topic of Estonian situation right now. But I have been working in Tallinn University of Technology from 2010. I also did my bachelor, master, and PhD thesis here, and I have been involved with textile and clothing materials and different polymeric materials, and also one of the fields that I'm active in is testing of different materials. But now a little bit generally about our laboratory. So we have like different sites here. One is polymeric materials and the other one is textile materials. And this laboratory was actually created in 2017 when two fields were combined together. Before that, we had like different chairs, the chairs of technology of polymers and textile technology. So what are the main fields of research in our laboratory? So first of all, polymers and composite materials, different plastic materials, and one huge field is nanofibrous materials, and of course, textile materials. But we have a lot of activities that we are dealing with. So first of all, the fundamental and applied research in the field of polymeric and textile materials and technology. Then we are offering testing service to the companies. And also we have different cooperation projects with companies. And also, of course, we are conducting some study work. So we have a bachelor study program, materials technology. Actually, it is not only combining together textile and polymeric materials, but there are also functional materials, metals, wood. So it is quite thorough overview of different materials. Then we have a master study program, and this is actually in English. The bachelor study program is in Estonian. So master study program name is Technology of Wood, Plastic and Textiles. So those materials are covered there, but of course, at the university, we have some other study programs that are dealing with other materials. And also we have a doctoral study program, Chemical and Materials Technology. And we are carrying out also different trainings for companies. So now a little bit closely about the fields of the research. Not all of those fields are related with sustainable, are not related with recycling of textile materials. As I mentioned earlier, one field is developing nanofibrous materials with electrospinning. So maybe it is not so good for recycling, but anyhow, also textiles can be used there. We can just dissolve them and use them in electrospinning. Then chemical valorization of, sorry, I have a mistake here, but it's a valorization of cellulose in environment of bionic liquids. So this could be one possible solution also for recycling, for example, cellulosic fibers. But right now, the main aim of this project and topic is to develop different bio-based materials. Then, of course, we are doing applied research in the fields of sustainable use of textile and polymeric materials. We are developing different materials of different waste, like plastic waste or wood waste and textile waste, and we are making different composite materials out of them. And of course, if we are developing the materials, we need to test them. And also we are developing some functional materials. But now a little bit more closely about the main field that I am dealing in research, and this is mechanically recycled textiles. So now I'm just pointing out some certain activities that we have here. So first of all, why we even need to test mechanically recycled textiles? So there are different reasons. For example, to find the most suitable application for those fibers, or maybe to change some settings of the machinery that is shredding the fibers or textiles. So first of all, what we really need to do before material developing is testing those mechanically recycled textile fibers. So for that, first of all, we are doing the visual analysis. Of course, we are using different types of microscopes for that also. And what's really important if we want to develop new materials is to measure the fiber length, for example, because as we know, when we mechanically recycle textile fibers, then the length will be shorter and shorter every time. And of course, other parameters of fibers are also important, and also the fiber length distribution. So this is one problem that also mechanically recycled textiles have, that there are very many small pieces of textile fibers, then a little bit larger pieces, and it might be very dusty. So this is one problem that can be tackled here. And of course, if needed, then we can analyze the fiber composition with different methods. So here, for example, are some bits and pieces that have been found in mechanically recycled textiles. So this might be the main problem if we start with the mechanical recycling, that there are some pieces of yarns and even fabrics inside of this fiber mass, and this is actually one big obstacle to make new materials out of it. And for the identification of fibers, we are using FTIR analysis. This is a type of spectroscopy, and of course microscopy can be used. And on the right you can see one image of, and there is pointed out the viscose fiber. So in sorting centers, there are different possibilities to sort textile waste. So what are used, for example, just by touching the materials, can we identify them, or some other instruments maybe are used. So we are mainly checking what is the real content of this textile waste. Then the next step, if we have analyzed the fibers and the fiber mass, and we have analyzed what kind of foreign matters are in there, then the next step is developing new materials from those fibers. And here are two pictures of some materials. The yarn has been spun in Viljandi Culture Academy. And on the right, you can see one knitted material that is made from a mixed waste. Then also we are developing different non-woven materials. As you can see from the pictures, it is not sorted by color. So it is a mixed waste with different content. And we are mainly adding low-melt thermoplastic fibers to those non-wovens, and then we can develop softer materials or harder materials, and those materials can have very many different applications. Then recently, one project ended that was also dealing with textile waste. The project name was Developing of Textile Waste Shredding Technology and Innovative Materials to Adding Value to Textile Waste and Support the Circular Economy. So we had 2 laboratories and institutes were involved in this project, our laboratory and the Department of Mechanical and Industrial Engineering. And the aim of the project then was to prepare textile waste for recycling and to use the recycled materials for the production of new materials and products. So our laboratory carried out then different material development and also different fiber analysis. But right now this machinery that was developed is in a prototyping phase, and we hope to get some new funding to that this development can continue. So this was shortly about different research work. Now a little bit about the study work. So as I am the program director of materials technology bachelor program, then we are really trying to insert new courses to this study program, just to widen the knowledge of students. And starting from the autumn, we have some changes here. Actually, already this spring, we have one course that is called Introduction to Circular Economy. This is in Estonian. I really suggest to take it just as a free course. And actually, it is not only concentrating on textiles, but there are other interesting fields also, like wood, plastic, energy, then civil engineering materials, functional materials, and so on. So this is just a little, how to say, this kind of small course, but maybe it gives quite a good overview of the topic. Then also we will have a new course in our study program, Sustainable Materials Technology. And we are really trying to have this, how to say, we are really trying to give the students the knowledge they really need about sustainability and circular economy. But of course, all those topics are integrated into different other courses that have materials and technology involved in them. So here are some examples of student projects and theses. Actually, here I have presented only the thesis, but right now also we have some ongoing projects dealing mainly with mechanical recycling of textiles and mainly with the developing new materials from recycled textiles. And here is a short overview of the thesis we have had. So mainly they are from those kind of fields, like developing non-woven materials, developing composite materials with thermoplastic composites, and also developing yarns. And as I mentioned, this is with cooperation with Viljandi Culture Academy. And so in those theses, the students are really developing the materials by themselves using our different laboratories. So we have possibilities to develop non-wovens, or we can make thermoplastic composites. And depending now on the fiber length, we are deciding in what kind of application those textile fibers can be used. And also we have had some certain waste types. For example, we were a little bit doing cooperation with the Defense Forces of Estonia and trying out how we can recycle their materials, because in this sense we can say they have quite good waste because they know the origin of their waste. So this was something we did. And also 4 years ago we had a thesis with Textile, now Paragon Sleep AS, and we were doing some research on sound and thermal insulation materials. So this was slightly it about the study work, the research in our laboratory. And now really shortly, I will tell you about one survey that was ended last year. And this was about the future potential of circular economy in Estonia. And now I actually pointed out here some suggestions or some activities to do in this field. So I didn't really so much pointed out the problems, because because maybe we should concentrate on the solutions. So first of all, what came out from this survey was that we really need a cooperation platform for companies, public authorities, and other interested parties. So this was actually the main thing that we are really stressing in this survey. And during this survey, we made quite a lot of interviews with different companies, and yes, they felt really that they want to do something, but they need some kind of platform for that. Then one really important thing is growing the knowledge of consumers and the public, and of course, growing the knowledge and capabilities of producers, companies, and public authorities. So this was also something that came out from the interviews, that companies really, sometimes they want to do something, but they feel that they have a lack of information in this field. Of course, we need to develop effective collecting and sorting systems. And then after that, we can enhance reuse and recycling of textiles. And also in this survey, there is the webpage of that. There were suggested some other activities that are helping to move towards circularity. So since my time is quite limited, I will not point out any other aspects of this survey, but you can just read it from this webpage. And now finally, I have just here the staff photo of our laboratory. And if you have any questions, then I'm gladly willing to answer them now or then after all the presentations have been ended. Thank you.
Thank you, Tiia. And yes, we will take all the questions after the last presentation, because we have been so nicely directly in time. So we go forward from here, and our next speaker is Innar Susi. Innar is a member of a board of Paragon Sleep, producer of home textiles, beds, and a developer of technical textiles. Innar has worked in the textile industry since 1990, of which 5 years in the company Mivar Viva, and started from 96 in Paragon Sleep. It used to be Textile, to people who does not know that. Innar will give an overview of Paragon Sleep's 25-year experience of developing and producing textiles from textile waste. So Innar, floor is yours, and we are listening.
Hi everybody, do you see me?
Yes, we do.
Slide.
But no slides, no, we don't see your slides.
Nüüd on näha või ei ole?
Ei ole. Üks võimalus on see saada, et nüüd tulevad.
No, on näha.
Ja, nüüd on olemas, ja, aitäh.
Okay, hi everybody. I am representing this recycling part from industry view. So our company where I'm working is Paragon Sleep, located in Estonia and Viljandi. Company exists since 1995, and we have actually 4 different kind of activities. First of all, we are producers of home textiles like quilts, pillows, mattresses. Then we are producing as well beds, spring mattresses, foam mattresses. Third is production of technical textiles, and fourth activity is recycling of industrial waste. So as you see, we have a lot of different products. Then we have also a lot of different waste ourselves, and this is actually why we decided to establish our own recycling site as well. So I'm then Innar Susi. I'm head of technical textile division and responsible then for developing and selling technical textiles and for recycling as well. So, and let's look for some data about the textile fiber world. So totally in the world was produced 2020 120 million tons of different textile fibers. It means per head 16 kilograms. And from this part, roughly 74 million tons are synthetic fibers, 7 tons cellulosic fibers, and 32 million tons is cotton and wool and other natural fibers. Cotton is dominating fiber from natural fibers. So, and later, sooner, all these textile products are becoming to the waste, yeah. And from industry side, because activity what we are doing, this is recycling of industrial waste, not post-consumer waste. And I'm showing you where this waste is coming. There you can see, if we are sewing quilts, for example, there are ribbons, what we will recycle later. So next production and source of waste is mattress ribbons. And third big part are ribbons from production of thermowaddings and needle punched materials. And generally, to give you an idea how much one industry can create textile waste, this is roughly 10% of all raw materials what we are using. So for our company, this is roughly 30 tons every month. And this is only technological, rest of textiles then. And so 2013, we established a special factory to recycle our rests. And here you can see how this recycling is working. Yeah, first, you need to collect all waste, sort it. More valuable is always white waste. Then as next step, what is also important, collected textile waste must be clean and dry. There cannot be any orange parts like metals or plastics or some others. Yeah. Then technology work like that. This textile waste will be fed into the processing line. This is made by hand. The next step is, this is a complete line. So next step is tearing and refibering of the textiles, and as a result, you are getting different fibers. Now, at the end, we are pressing all these fibers into big bales just to save space for storing. So, and some products you can see. This is result after recycling edges from the quilts. This is a result after recycling technical textiles. And this is result after recycling, for example, cleaning wipes or other needle punching materials. And after fibers, after textiles are recycled into the fiber, next step is to produce some products from these fibers. Yeah, for that. For this purpose, we have production site at Puidu Street in Viljandi. And technological steps, what we do are the following. First, there is a feeding part where you are mixing different fibers, because normally it's not possible use recycled fibers alone. You must always add some virgin components. Now, by our experience, we can use maximum 50% fibers what are recycled from the textiles. Rest is always virgin fibers. So next step is carding. This is a very common process in textile industry. Again, carding. Then is thermal bonding of the fibers. This is what you can see. This is big oven with temperature something 170, 160 kilometers degrees, and it adds all the fibers together thermally. So, and final stage is packing. And there you can see 10 products. This is thermowadding, what is produced partly from recycled textiles, and different thermo and sound insulation panels. There we have a cooperation with Tiia Plamus, as she explained earlier. His students tested, and the material was perfect for such purpose. So, and then needle punched felts. These felts are used mainly in furniture industry for production of mattresses, but can be used also in fashioning industry or for making bags. So there was ourselves, we are producers of beds and mattresses and furniture as well. So a lot of this material are used in our own products. There you can see using in mattress. And again, this high loft thermowadding can be used for quilting, like soft layer in mattresses. And also different plates made from textile waste can be used for seating pads and mattresses and other similar products. And just to give an overview about Estonia, in Estonia, people are buying roughly 20,000 tons of textiles every year. It means 15 kilograms per person. And waste what is coming from textile industry is approximately 5,000 tons per year. And why you need to, how to say, find solution, how to recycle these quantities. You can see what cost utilization of these textiles if we send them to the waste collecting points. So roughly for industry, this is extra cost 425,000 euros, but for private people, 2 million euros. And you can see waste also, how many trucks it will be. So, and with industrial waste, we know what to do, but big challenge is what to do with post-consumer waste, because industry waste has quite, how to say, simple structure of fibers. We know what is there, but story with post-consumer waste is quite different, because you never know from which fibers products are made. They have also metallic parts, they have also plastic parts, and such non-textile parts are not good for recycling at all, because you need to remove them before. So, and also processing of post-consumer waste is quite expensive process, because first this waste must be collected, then sorted, and also washed before refibering, because it can have bacteria inside, or dirty, or different problems. Yeah. And see, this work is labor intensive, slow, and also requires a skilled workforce. And what is also challenging, the result of the refibering of post-consumer waste is not very good, because fibers what we are getting are too short, unequal. During processing you will have a lot of dust, and also facilities are working quite slowly, because often they must be cleaned, and generally yeah, this is also a problem for the workers, because they don't like this kind of job at all, because environment is very dusty, and yeah. And last point is also that recycling of post-consumer waste is economically not very good, because price of recycled fibers is very low on the market, because this is short and often mixed colors and so on. Just overview about situation with recycling of clothes, what there is in the world today. Today, very few percentage of clothes are recycled into fibers. And what's the reason? Because fashion industry and textile industry is using generally a lot of recycled materials. For example, polyester, but this polyester is recycled from plastic bottles, and then you will get fibers with very good quality, and to replace it with fibers from recycled textiles, nobody wants to do that because of costs and quality of these fibers. So, and yeah, here you can see again the same what I said already. And so I think we need to weigh how to recycle textiles also in other ways than this mechanical recycling. One possibility is chemical recycling, but this you can do more with fabrics or textiles what are produced from monomers, not from blended fibers. And then also some people are thinking about biological reprocessing. So but I think this is, yeah, can be done, but it will be also very, how to say, slow process, but possible. Here I put also some materials where you can see what blends Europe has about recycling of textiles, and I found quite good material. It was issued 2021, but the general possibilities for textile recycling, if you search by Google, you can find it easily. This is really very interesting. Yeah, that's it from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Innar. Now we have almost half an hour to ask some questions from our three very well established professionals. So if you have any questions already, I would like you to start asking. If you need a little time, I will be the one who is asking the first question. I was listening all of you, and quite many times I actually had one question in my mind I would like to ask from all of you, because the reason why I'm asking that question is it's the design center who is actually behind the seminar or the webinar today. Like, where do you see in your work actually design coming in? Where do you, for example, I would like to just start from you, Pirjo, if you would a little bit explain if you see your work and your research and your extremely long experience working with the companies as well. So where do you see design coming in?
Yeah, product design is very important in circular economy. So with the design process, you can affect also the lifetime of a product and also recyclability after the use of the product. So it's very important. Within the Telaketju research, we had the task related to this design aspects for circular economy as part of Telaketju 2 project. So it was of the second phase. And as an outcome, we wrote of these guidelines for what can be considered by industries to be more sustainable production. There are multiple guidelines existing in literature as well, so there are many tools which can be used for the as a guideline for more circular and more sustainable textile design. But strategies for different type of products probably vary, so it's not a single answer. Do that and it's good, but for different type of products you can have different type of design strategies.
Thank you. Yeah, Tiia, please, if you could answer as well.
So I think that there are several aspects where the design comes in. So first of all, if we are designing new products, then we should already think how to recycle them later, how to use sustainable materials in those products. But later also, if we already have recycled materials, then how to make good products out of them. So maybe engineers and scientists, they can make good materials, but maybe they don't know so much about the design. So I think this is really important that scientists, researchers will make a cooperation with the designers. And I'm really glad that actually we have right now one project with you also, Reet, and Art Academy, that we are combining together this material development and also this design aspect.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, thank you. And Innar, really, you were actually showing some products, like you have been using product design. How do you work with the designers? Where or how do you just find designer who could offer you the products you know that you can do, or you actually invite designers in and let them to discover your materials and possibilities?
No, we work together with designers also. We had some projects with you, but we try to develop also our products, mainly not clothes, but mattresses, quilts, pillows already in this way that they are made from recycled textiles, and we are promoting on the market also the products, and yeah, well, this is also what we are doing. We introduce to the people this what to say, materials and products where recycled materials are used. But everybody who has ideas, they are welcome to contact with us.
But you don't have the designer on your payroll. You don't have a designer in-house.
No.
Yeah.
But we are, maybe we don't have designer, but we have people who are developing the products all the time. You can call them designers too, but yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So if, do you have any questions, dear listeners? Okay, I can see that one question is here. I will read it. I ask about the design of the first stage. How is the collection and sorting of textiles handled in Finland? Who collects, how, and who sorts? This is Pirjo for you.
Yes, it seems that's to me. So yeah, at the moment, the separate collection of textile waste will be starting officially in Finland next year, but we do have these pilots going on already in several areas. Our waste regulation states that household textile waste must be collected and sorted, handled by municipal waste management companies, and then textile waste from commercial origin, so from hotels, from workwear companies, or laundry, this kind of rental companies, or organizations like that, must be handled by commercial actors. So there will be different collection systems. Also, this who sorts, at the moment, sorting is mainly done manually, but there will be coming in the coming years, there will be sorting line or sorting, including automated sorting systems to be done in Turku area. So we will have automated sorting coming in near future, coming years. But currently, I think the collecting is when it's done by these regional waste management, municipal waste management companies. They are something like 30 of those in Finland, and more than 10 are already collecting. They do this kind of preliminary sorting in there, and then the recyclable materials will be delivered to Paimio plant for processing. And I think they are trying to collect and separate all the reusable textile products which can be put to second-hand sales or somewhere like that out from the stream.
Thank you. I actually have one question as well. What do you think about the producer's responsibility? Do you see it's coming near future? Would that actually change all the situation?
It has been, some of the European countries want all countries to have this kind of extended producer responsibility system to all over Europe. And then there are countries like Finland where we have this already established system with self-responsibility for municipalities and commercial operators. And then also similar systems are in some other countries. I cannot remember now which they are. What is going to happen? We don't know. So in the Circular Economy Action Plan by European Commission, that was mentioned that they might be coming textile, the EPR system also for textiles. And I think that will be determined in textile strategy, which was supposed to be published in last year, but it is not ready yet. So we are anxiously waiting what happens, what this textile strategy will be stating about extended producer responsibility. So don't know, there are people who are very towards having similar systems for all countries, EU member states, and then there are opposite opinion that some of them could have EPR, and those who already have a good system working with this responsibility stated, they should be able to continue as they are. But I don't know what's happening and what will be changing. Also, EPR systems can be organized very different ways. So I don't know if that will be changing or our system or not.
Thank you. I just wanted to maybe ask Tiia your comment in this as well. Would you be so kind?
So actually, I think this is quite debatable question, this producer responsibility. I think that also right now I saw that Ruta Rannala commented here something that she has also told that we have a lot of different producers in Estonia. Some of them are not even selling the products in Estonia, so it's complicated how to manage with this producer responsibility with them if everything goes to export. So also, if we had this survey about the circular economy future potential in Estonia, then also we had some controversial opinions from the companies. They were not so eager about it. But certainly this could be one possibility to change something. So we have to start from somewhere, because right now I feel that if we don't make some big decisions, then the situation will not change so much.
Yeah, I agree in this point. Yeah, it has to be really regulated, but probably one reason why it's not still is that it's like global industry and it's really difficult to find the regulations suitable for everyone. Yeah, and Pirjo here is commenting that the EPR system for textiles in use in France. I think it's second year already running, and it would be very interesting to know how it actually works there. Because if you, I can understand, Tiia, you said the companies were not too eager, because for the bigger companies' point of view, it actually puts them in the place where they really have to change the way how they design and produce things. And in the one hand, of course, if you see it like conceptually, that would be exactly the aim of that we will have more circular products on the market, and actually the producers or the companies who are designing and producing them would take the responsibility. But this is this kind of egg chicken question all the time, who should take the responsibility? And I think we are in the place where some kind of decision has to be made.
Yes.
But I'm happy to see that there is one hand. Yeah. Hello, Kersti. Please ask your question.
Hi, Reet, and hi, everyone else. Thank you very much for the for this conversation. It's really interesting to listen to and to hear also the Finnish point of view, because obviously with the Estonians we very often speak, and so I know more about that. I think I'm also very interested about the producer responsibility, and I'm actually, what I'd really like to do is just to kind of jump in and ask Innar, because obviously you are now working with making products that are already made out of recycled materials, and I'm just wanted to ask what is your experience with marketing this to the customers? Do customers actually care? Do they have any opinions? Have you heard, or is it a good thing, or what's your experience basically? Thank you.
What do you mean? What experience about using recycling materials or responsibility?
Well, basically, both. Basically, does it make any difference to how much you sell? Do people come to your customers, or maybe the stores who resell your product? Do they come and want more of this, or what is the kind of feedback from the customers?
Let's say if we are speaking about textile products today, what is popular today? There's fibers, natural fibers. what are produced in organic way. Let's say all organic cotton, what is grown without fertilizers. And also important is traceability for natural fibers. For example, for the wool, people are taking care that the animals are grown in, how to say, in friendly conditions. Yeah? That they have food, water, and so on. But today, generally, most of polyester what are used in textile industry, this is generally recycled, but this is recycled from plastic bottles, not from textile waste. And now, for example, I think last 2 years already, IKEA is taking into the range only products, polyester-filled products that are made with regenerated polyester. But there is the other problem with that there is not enough this bottle waste anymore. So, and now this is strange situation that this regenerated polyester has higher price than polyester produced from virgin raw materials. And of course, this is driving market in opposite direction now, because product price is also important for the people. So this is the general situation.
Yes, thank you, Innar. Do we have more questions? If not, I would actually ask a question, Kersti, from you, if it's okay. I know that you are using recycled fabrics for your own design. Can you a little bit explain just very shortly the system, and are you able actually to send back the leftovers to the factory where you buy from, or it's not working that way yet?
So yes, so I'm making sportswear. For those who haven't heard, I make my brand name is Susi, and I'm also making a little bit like a side project of making women's underwear. And both used for the technical materials, we use nylon, elastane mix fabrics. So those are coming from Aquafil, the fibers. So that's quite a famous European nylon producer. And at the moment, those materials cannot be sent back because they have the elastane in it. They are taking back 100% nylon, and so they have the first few projects with some of their customers who are using 100% nylon material for like outerwear brands, I think, and who have been able to then use also ultrasonic welding and different kinds of ways to make the products without actually using any, like say, polyester or other fibers. So this is possible. It's been done. They are definitely working on also on separating or learning how to separate the elastane and from nylon. So I think that this is just a matter of time when this is going to be possible. So in my design work, I also take this into account. So I'm trying to use, when I'm using, when I need elastic in my leggings, for example, then we're using also nylon elastane products there rather than using caoutchouc or something else that would add like an extra fiber into the mix. So we're trying to do that. At the moment, we can't send it back, unfortunately, but hopefully in the future, in a not a very distant future, hopefully.
Thank you, Kersti. And I can see Piret Potissepp has a question. Please, Piret.
Yes, hello. First of all, thank you to all the great speakers. It's really nice to hear what is going on the both sides of Baltic Sea. And let's face it, when the news is only about the war in Ukraine, I cannot go away from a line. So I would ask the three speakers, what do you see? What will happen in textile and in textile waste in the light of the war and the huge amounts of humanitarian aid which is going to be given to the refugees and which are needed to the refugees right now? Will it change the patterns of textile circularity and the textile reuse, both in Finland and in Estonia and in a larger scale? Thank you.
Thank you. can we go with like again the same way that Pirjo? I was happy you to be the first.
That is a difficult question. Of course, a lot of these kind of products which are still suitable for reuse are probably going there as an aid, and it's good. So those can find a place, but I don't know if this will be affecting us a kind of long-term pattern. Hopefully, more people in general, regardless of the crisis at the moment, could see the possibilities for and be more accepted, have more acceptance for this second-hand clothing in the everyday life. But of course, now these kind of products are needed for the aid for the refugees as well.
Thank you.
So of course, yes, it's quite difficult to see the future and how it all goes, but definitely maybe the countries will concentrate more on some other problems, but still I think that all this sustainability and circular economy topics are also relevant, but now how to even maybe there might be the situation how we can find the fundings and things, because maybe the fundings are concentrated on other stories. But I have also heard that some clothes and home textiles are collected and they are sent to the border of Ukraine. But in some regions, I have heard that there is already too much of it, or maybe there are not the suitable things that have been sent there. So this might be also a problem, that a lot of things are collected, but then they are just staying somewhere. So it should be really like organized activity. But yes, I think it is quite hard to estimate what will happen.
Yeah, that's true. Innar, please.
What I can say about Ukraine, we also supported Ukraine. We collected a lot of, let's say, stock lots of quilts and pillows and helped Ukraine people. So, yeah, generally that's it.
Yes, thank you. It is definitely a complicated question and very hard to see, but as we can see, Sini's comment here that yes, it will definitely have some kind of impact to the supply chains anyway, and it's already like, for example, our company already says that we are producing in very different places, and for example, connection with Japan is not the same anymore because of the flights, etc. So it's gonna change, but how, that we will definitely will see. So can we get more questions? If not, then of course I have a few more, but I would like to give possibility to others to ask as well. Yes, no? No? Okay, I will ask. So yeah, I'm currently in Kenya, in Nairobi. I have been here 2 months, and the topic I have been researching here is actually post-consumer waste. We have been talking about today, about the topic today as well. How do you see, if of course, because right now Europe, UK, Canada, US sending a very big amount post-consumer waste to Africa. It's really big amount what comes here. This is the topic we don't want to talk about so much. I know the EU is working towards regulation that Europe is not sending its post-consumer waste out anymore from 2025, hopefully, maybe, we don't know yet. How do you see what will happen then if we are not able to send our post-consumer waste out? Will we be completely overloaded? Is Europe ready to deal with all the post-consumer waste what we have now, or what do you personally and professionally think? What will happen in 2025 when we start actually to collect all the textile waste in Europe, and we are actually pushed to take it to circle it back to the production? So what will happen, Pirjo? What do you think?
What I know, what happens to most of the used clothes that has been sent to some developing countries, that they are dumped there, so they are not good enough to be used. So that kind of clothes shouldn't be exported. We have to be dealing with our waste and non-reusable clothes ourselves through recycling. And that's why there are so many activities going on in different parts of Europe to develop new technologies to better be able to recycle different type of textile materials. We are currently, this recycling is focusing on side streams of textile industry. Okay, they are good quality, they are known, they are easy, and they are also for polyamides, they are chemical recycling, they are also mechanical recycling for post-consumer waste available, but more and more we need this kind of recycling methods which are restoring quality of fibers. So chemical recycling, thermomechanical recycling through melting and maybe adjusting the polymer properties through in the melt processes. So we need, and also we need to have, and there are a lot of development activities towards recycling technologies which are capable of separating different fiber types and using them all as a kind of raw material for new products, and hopefully also for textile fibers. So there are so many activities that I hope that in the future we can take care of those textiles which are not reusable and who nobody wants to use it either in outside of Europe. So we can deal with those within Europe and make raw materials for textile industry and other industries. So hopefully this is also a good for job creation in different parts of Europe for handling, sorting, processing, recycling, making new products out of those.
Thank you. Tiia, do you have something to add?
Yes, I think in one way it is even positive if you can't anymore send something, for example, to Kenya, because then we seriously need to tackle this problem. And actually the field that I am mainly dealing is what to do with these recycled fibers. Yes, we can recycle them, but then we really need this material development process there, and maybe we have to develop materials that have quite long life, like civil engineering materials or something like that. But of course, we should search different possibilities of upcycling those materials. And yes, basically, I agree with everything that Pirjo said, but yes, I think there is now the time to tackle this problem very seriously.
Yeah, I agree completely. Innar, would your company be ready to recycle post-consumer waste?
Our company will never do that. But if you're asking about trends, I know what the leading producers are thinking and in which way they make this development work. Now, everybody now found out that this is very complicated to recycle post-consumer waste in this mechanical way. And now I had contact with several fiber producers and people who are involved in developing technology. Now they are thinking more to separate chemicals by pyrolysis. So it means this post-consumer waste will be first recycled into the gas and oil, and then this is the material to produce back the fibers, because today also oil and gas are raw materials to produce fiber. this direction this world is moving now, because this is most efficient way to do that. Because you never will have from post-consumer waste good quality fibers in mechanical way, and too much handwork for sorting, collecting, for things like that.
Yeah,
this is the technology what people are developing right now.
Thank you. And actually, we have been very nicely talking, and I realized that we are out of time now. So I would like to say big thank to Pirjo, Tiia, and Innar. Really thank you for your presentations. It has been extremely interesting. And also thank you for all of you who has actually took the time, came and listened. Thank you for the interesting conversation, and I wish you beautiful afternoon. And I hope spring comes soon to North as well. Have a nice day.
Yeah, thank you, Reet, to you as well for moderating, and to everybody. It was a really valuable discussion. So thank you, and have a nice day. Have a nice evening.
Yeah, thank you for organizing the event.
Yeah, thank you. Also for audience for all the questions.
Yeah,
Exactly.
thank you. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.